Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Anita Newby and of course I am going to be reviewing a movie for you. Today I am actually reviewing the 2021 Oscar winner for Best Live Action Short, which is Two Distant Strangers. Now, it took me a minute to get to this because I wanted to be prepared. But if you have been intrigued about this movie or have watched it, I'm interested for you to watch this review and leave your comments. So stay tuned for my review of Two Distant Strangers. Strangers. Yes, this film was directed by Trayvon and Martin Desmond, and as I stated earlier, they did win the Oscar for the Best Live Action Short. This is a 30-minute film, and I tell you, in this 30 minutes, it really packs a punch. And I believe it was the intent of the filmmakers to be very direct, very bold, and in your face with the subject matter. I know for some people that's uncomfortable. I know for some people that is triggering. I know for some people that is tiring and exhausting. I know some people are desensitized to it because there's a lot that we have seen. But I truly believe that the filmmakers did their job. They did what they intended to do. They upset you. They challenged you. They had you see a different perspective, and which for me is always key because I know art has the ability to do so many things. And one of the things, whether it's music or film or visual arts, in, still visual art, it can cause you to see a different perspective. And I think that's truly important, especially in the time that we live in. So hopefully people that watch the film, even if they were bothered by it, even if they didn't love it, I hope that it allowed them to see a different perspective. Let's talk about the main character. What was his name? Let me check it out because I don't want to give you the wrong information here. His name was Carter James in the film. This main character, if you don't know what the film is about, I think everybody does at this point. So I am about to tell you. So if you don't know, you can turn away at this point. I'm not going to give too many spoilers, but I am going to give you a synopsis of what the film is about. The film is about a young black man who is trying to get home to his dog after he had a night out with a girl that he likes. He doesn't make it home because of an encounter with the police. He does not make it home, and not just sent to jail, but he is killed at the hands of police. And what is also interesting about this film is that we begin to see him in a time loop. If you followed me for any length of time, you know that I love a good time loop. So as long as somebody is caught in time, time is distorted, something's happening with time, I am in. And I was in to see what this was about. So it had a Groundhog Day type of effect, but in a way that, was very challenging. Very challenging. This person was reliving their death in various ways over and over again. So it was challenging. I believe the lead character, he did a very good job portraying who he was. We saw different sides of him. We saw him being shocked. We saw him being sensitive because he was starting a relationship that he was interested in. He was so compassionate about his dog. He wanted to get home to his dog. He was baffled by his encounter with the police. Then we saw some anger. We saw him trying to reason. We saw various sides of this character. And I thought that as an actor, as he presented these different sides of the character, that he did it very well and he did it very effectively. The cop, his name was Merk. And I also thought that he did his job. It was deliberately written so that you would not get any in-depth background information into the cop or what was going on. That was deliberate. That was on purpose. I know some people might have difficulty with that, but in what movie do you get the in-depth backstory of every single character? And you don't get the in-depth backstory of this officer who is opposite of our main character. You just see him having a one-track mind, him making judgment calls, him judging, and just responding to his preconceived notions. That's what we see. We don't see any depth, and that is on purpose. And I know when we're talking about in real life that there are other layers to things, but we are talking about an artistic work that's being presented. So I believe that was done very deliberately by the writer of the film and the directors of the film. I will say this, from a directorial standpoint, there were some visual cues. Like, I'm tempted to go back and watch it, but I'm not going to because it was a lot. But there were some interesting visual cues that had significance throughout this piece. There were some aerial shots that we saw from time to time that were very poignant, that were very relevant to things that are going on in our society today. So I thought the directors and the writers did a good job of looping it back to real life. You even see some things at the end of the film, at the credits. You want to watch through that. There is a very strong, deliberate, in-your-face message that is coming from the writers and the writer and the directors of this film. And I think that they did it effectively. Is this something that I can watch over and over? No. I mean, I'm tempted to go back and to look at a few things because I know there are some visual cues and there are probably some things that I missed, but I do want to maybe check it out again. I don't know, because it was a lot to watch someone being killed over and over again. Even though you know that's what's going to happen, it's still a challenge to watch that play out, you know. And I've seen it enough in real life to not want to watch it over and over in a film. But I do think the film was very well done. I loved the dog. I know that's so random, but he was just so precious, and I loved him. And you know, you were rooting for this main character to get home. I know I was rooting for him to get home, you know, just to spark this relationship with this young lady, to reconnect with this dog, just to have a regular life, you know. And for what reason did this senseless act happen? We still have no answers to that. So not something that's far-fetched. Unfortunately, I wish it was far-fetched. I wish it was so, you know, far from real life that it wasn't realistic, but unfortunately it is realistic, and I thought they did a good job of tying in the realism in such a good way. Another point that I'm going to bring out, because I love music and I'm a singer and a musician, is that I thought the songs were appropriately placed and selected. I know there was some the original score I thought was strong. I think there was an original song at the end, but there were some songs that were placed within the film that I think, for me, kind of gave me a distraction when it got really, really heavy. I would tune into the lyrics of a song or tune into the voice of a song. Let me tell you, anytime I hear Jill Scott in some music, I am tuned in. And the song that kind of opens the film is a very popular song that I love so much. Very strong piano interlude. You'll all recognize it when you watch the film. But for me, that kind of even helped tie things together. It kind of distracted me from the harshness of what was going on in the film without taking me out of the film. It tied it back in, but it gave me another artistic release. I was able to listen and kind of disengage, even though I wasn't disengaged. I know that's a weird thing to say, but it kind of took me around to be able to see from another perspective. And I thought that the song choices were very well done. I think there were about 5 or 6 songs in this film, which is a lot in a 30-minute film, but I thought they were strategically placed and very well done. And, you know, did I enjoy it? It's hard to say you enjoy something that is upsetting to you, but I thought from an artistic standpoint that it was well done. I thought the Oscar was well deserved. I know this is a topic that a lot of people would prefer we not talk about, but it's necessary to be talked about because these things are still happening. And I think they did their job. They presented it in a way that was creative, that was interesting. And again, I love a good time loop, so that little sci-fi aspect being brought in, because we don't know why he was in a time loop. You know, we don't know what was going on. We don't know if from my perspective, we don't know if he has to make his way out. We don't know what's really behind that. But I did enjoy it. Hard for me to say, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was well done. I wasn't triggered so much or traumatized so much to the point that I had to turn it off or couldn't watch. I've seen things that have made me more uncomfortable than this. which is kind of harsh to say, but it's the truth. But those are my thoughts about Two Distant Strangers. I love to hear yours. I'm becoming more and more interested in short films, so there's some other short films I'm going to review. And again, if you've watched this far and you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, please do so you can stay ahead of the game when I am releasing a new movie review. And I hope that you will share this with someone who you think might enjoy. And please let me know your thoughts on Two Distant Strangers. Thank you for tuning in.